Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Prabhu Dhanatram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare
Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you for joining, Prabhuji. Driving, going back home, Prabhuji.
Okay.
On the way. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Radhana Swami Nitinamini Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatavi Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांता राधाना स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी। गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य सतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री स्वाति गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama.
Giraj Prabhu, can you moderate the call today? Hare Krishna. Or should I do it? Hare Krishna.
Mataji,
Sorry, Madhuri.
Mataji.
I just back home. You can moderate.
Prabhuji.
You can today you can do.
Okay, Prabhuji. Should I start then?
Yeah, please start.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Welcome, Lala Gopala Mataji. Thank you so much for joining today in this call. Please give us your association and inspiration. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll start with Mangalacharan prayers.
You can start, Mataji. Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're right now doing Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 18th chapter. And we'll start with 31st verse today. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Upon returning, he began to contemplate and argue within himself whether the sage had actually been in meditation with senses concentrated and eyes closed, or whether he had just been feigning trance just to avoid receiving a lower Kshatriya. Purport. The king, being a devotee of the Lord, did not approve of his own action, and thus he began to wonder whether the sage was really in trance or was just pretending in order to avoid receiving the king, who was a Kshatriya and therefore lower in rank. Repentance comes in the mind of a good soul as soon as he commits something wrong. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura and Srila Jiva Goswami do not believe that the king's action was due to his past misdeeds. The arrangement was so made by the Lord just to call the king back home, back to Godhead. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, the plan was made by the will of the Lord, and by the will of the Lord, the situation of frustration was created. The plan was that for his so-called misdeed, the king could be cursed by an inexperienced Brahmana boy infected by the influence of Kali, and thus the king would leave his hearth and home for good. His connections with Srila Sukdev Goswami would enable the presentation of great Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered to be the book incarnation of the Lord. This book incarnation of the Lord gives much fascinating information of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, like his Rasa Leela with the spiritual cowherd damsels of Rajabhumi. This specific pastime of the Lord has a specific significance because anyone who properly learns about this particular pastime of the Lord will certainly be dissuaded from mundane sex desire and be placed on the path of sublime devotion service of the Lord. The pure devotee's mundane frustration is meant to elevate the devotees to a higher transcendental position. By placing Arjuna and the Pandavas in frustration due to the intrigue of their cousin brothers, the prelude of the battle of Kurukshetra was created by the Lord. This was to incarnate the sound representative of the Lord, Bhagavad Gita. So by placing King Parikshit in an awkward position, the incarnation of Srimad Bhagavatam was created by the will of the Lord. Being distressed by hunger and thirst was only a show, because the king endured much, even in the womb of his mother. He was never disturbed by the glaring heat of Brahmastra released by Ashwathama. The king's distressed condition was certainly unprecedented. The devotees like Maharaja Parikshit are powerful enough to forbear such distresses by the will of the Lord, and they are never disturbed. The situation in this case was therefore all planned by the Lord. Hare Krishna. Samita Mataji చదవగలరా?
No, Mataji.
No. Ramreddy Prabhu ఉన్నారా?
Late, Mataji.
Okay. Sandhya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The sage had a son who was very powerful, being a Brahmana's son. While he was playing with inexperienced boys, he heard of his father's distress, which was occasioned by the king. Then and there, the boy spoke as follows. Purport. Due to Maharaja Parikshit's good government, even a boy of tender age who was playing with other inexperienced boys could become as powerful as a qualified Brahmana. This boy was known as Shringi, and he achieved good training in Brahmacharya by his father so that he could be as powerful as Brahmana, even at that age. But because the age of Kali was seeking an opportunity to spoil the cultural heritage of the four orders of life, the inexperienced boy gave a chance for the age of Kali to enter into the field of Vedic culture. Hatred of the lower orders of life began from this Brahmana boy under the influence of Kali, and thus cultural life began to dwindle day after day. The first victim of Brahmical injustice was Maharaja Parikshit, and thus the protection given by the king against the onslaught of Kali was slackened.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
And why it's moving slowly. Radhika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All translations and purport by our beloved founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Brahmana's son Shringi said, "Oh, just look at the sins of the rulers who, like crows and watchdogs at the door, perpetrate sins against their masters contrary to the principles governing servants." Purport. The Brahmanas are considered to be the head and brains of the social body, and the Kshatriyas are considered to be the arms of the social body. The arms are required to protect the body from all harm, but the arms must act according to the directions of the head and brain. That is a natural arrangement made by the supreme order. For it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that four social orders or castes, namely the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras, are set up according to quality and work done by them. Naturally, the son of a Brahmana has a good chance to become a Brahmana by the direction of his qualified father, as a son of a medical practitioner has a very good chance to become a qualified medical practitioner. So, the caste system is quite scientific. The son must take advantage of the father's qualification and thus become a Brahmana or medical practitioner and not otherwise. Without being qualified, one cannot become a Brahmana or medical practitioner, and that is the verdict of all scriptures and social orders. Herein, Shringi, a qualified son of a great Brahmana, attained the required Brahminical power both by birth and by training, but he was lacking in culture because he was an inexperienced boy. By the influence of Kali, the son of a Brahmana became puffed up with Brahminical power and thus wrongly compared Maharaj Parikshit to crows and watchdogs. The king is certainly the watchdog of the state in the sense that he keeps vigilant eyes over the border of the state for its protection and defense, but to address him as a watchdog is the sign of a less cultured boy. Thus, the downfall of the Brahminical powers began as they gave importance to birthright without culture. The downfall of the Brahmana caste began in the age of Kali. And since Brahmanas are the heads of the social order, all other orders of society also began to deteriorate. This beginning of Brahminical deterioration was highly deplored by the father of Shringi, as we will find. Haribol.
Lala Gopala Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The descendants of the kingly orders are definitely designated as watchdogs, and they must keep themselves at the door. On what grounds can dogs enter the house and claim to dine with the master on the same plate? Purport. The inexperienced Brahmana boy certainly knew that the king asked for water from his father, and the father did not respond. He tried to explain away his father's inhospitality in an impertinent manner, befitting an uncultured boy. He was not at all sorry for the king's not being well received. On the contrary, he justified their own act in a way characteristic of the Brahmanas of Kali Yuga. He compared the king to a watchdog, and so it was wrong for the king to enter the home of a Brahmana and ask for water from the same pot. The dog is certainly reared by its master, but that does not mean that the dog shall claim to dine and drink from the same pot. This mentality of false prestige is the cause of downfall of the perfect social order, and so we can see that in the beginning it was started by the inexperienced son of a Brahmana, as the dog is never allowed to enter within the room and hearth, although it is reared by the master. Similarly, according to Shringi, the king had no right to enter the house of Shamika Rishi. According to the boy's opinion, the king was on the wrong side and not his father, and thus he justified his silent father.
Thank you, Mataji. Lalitman Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Translation. After the departure of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead and supreme ruler of everyone, these upstarts have flourished. Our protector being gone, therefore, I myself shall take up this matter and punish them. Just witness my power. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The inexperienced Brahmana, puffed up by a little Brahma Tejas, became influenced by the spell of Kali Yuga. Maharaj Parikshit gave license to Kali to live in 4 places as mentioned herein before. But by his very expert government, the personality of Kali could hardly find the places allotted to him. The personality of Kali Yuga, therefore, was seeking the opportunity to establish authority. And by the grace of the Lord, he found a hole in the puffed up, inexperienced son of a Brahmana. The little Brahmana wanted to show his prowess in destruction, and he had the audacity to punish such a great king as Maharaj Parikshit. He wanted to take the place of Lord Krishna after his departure. These are the principal signs of upstarts who want to take the place of Sri Krishna under the influence of age of Kali. An upstart with a little power wants to become an incarnation of the Lord. There are many false incarnations after the departure of Lord Krishna from the face of the globe, and they are misleading the innocent people by accepting the spiritual obedience of general mass of people to maintain false prestige. In other words, the personality of Kali got the opportunity to reign through this son of a Brahmana Shringi. Thank you, Mataji.
Raju Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation: the son of the Rishi, his eyes red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kaushika while speaking to his playmates and discharged the following thunderbolt of words. Purport: the circumstances under which Maharaja Parikshit was cursed were simply childish, as it appears from this verse. Shringi was showing his impotency amongst his playmates who were innocent. Any sane man would have prevented him from doing such great harm to all human society. By killing a king like Maharaja Parikshit, just to make a show of a required Brahmanical power, the inexperienced son of Brahmana committed a great mistake. Hare Krishna.
Sapan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Translation.
Mataji, I will be back in 5 minutes, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji. I will be back in 5 minutes. Just to drop in my kids and I'll come back.
Yeah, no problem, Prabhuji. No problem. Yeah, Sapan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Translation. The Brahmana's son cursed the king thus: on the 7th day from today, a snake bird will bite the most wretched one of the dynasty, Maharaj Parikshit, because of his having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father. Purport: thus the beginning of a misuse of Brahmanical power began, and gradually the Brahmanas in the age of Kali became devoid of both Brahmanical powers and culture. The Brahmana boy considered Maharaj Parikshit to be a Kulangara, or the wretched of the dynasty. But factually, the Brahmana boy himself was so, because only from him did the Brahmana caste become powerless, like the snake whose poison teeth are broken. The snake is fearful as long as his poison teeth are there. Otherwise, he is fearful only to children. The personality of Kali conquered the Brahmana boy first, and gradually the other caste. Thus, the whole scientific system of the orders of society in this age has assumed the form of a vitiated caste system, which is now being uprooted by another class of men, similarly influenced by the age of Kali. One should see to the root cause of vitiation and not try to condemn the system as it is, without knowledge of its scientific value. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Gaurav Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of this grief, he cried very loudly. Purport. The boy was not happy because he committed a great mistake, and he wanted to be relieved of the burden on his heart by crying. So after entering the hermitage and seeing his father in this condition, he cried loudly so that he might be relieved. But it was too late. The father regretted the whole incident. Hare Krishna.
Siman Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
You want me to continue?
No, Suman Prabhu.
Mataji,
Yes, sir. You can read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
O Brahmanas, the Rishi who was born in the family of Anjira Muni, hearing his son crying, gradually opened his eyes and saw the dead snake around his neck.
Angira Muni Prabhu.
Okay. Shall I
Please
continue, Mataji?
Yeah, continue.
Translation. He threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. Purport. The father did not take the dead snake on his neck very seriously. He simply threw it away. Actually, there was nothing seriously wrong in Maharaja Parikshit's act, but the foolish son took it very seriously. And being influenced by Kali, he cursed the king and thus ended a chapter of happy history. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Lavanya Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Mataji.
Please read.
Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best among all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. Purport. The king is the best of all human beings. He is the representative of God, and he is never to be condemned for any of his actions. In other words, the king can do no wrong. The king may order hanging of a culprit, son of a Brahmana, but he does not become sinful for killing a Brahmana. Even if there is something wrong with the king, he is never to be condemned. A medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment. But such a killer is never condemned to death. So what to speak of? Good and pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? In the Vedic way of life, the king is trained to become a Rajarshi or a great saint, although he is ruling as a king. It is the king only by whose government the citizens can live peacefully and without any fear. The Rajarshis would manage their kingdom so nicely and piously that their subject would respect them as if they were the Lord. That is the instruction of the Vedas. The king is called Narendra, or the best among the human beings. How then could a king like Maharaj Parikshit be condemned by an inexperienced, puffed up son of a Brahmana, even though he had trained the powers of a qualified Brahmana? Since Shamika Rishi was an experienced good Brahmana, he did not approve for the action of his condemned son. He began to lament for all that his son has done. The king was beyond the jurisdiction of curses as a general rule, and what to speak of a good king like Maharaj Parikshit. The offense of the king was most insignificant, and his being condemned to death was certainly a great sin for Shringi. Therefore, Rishi Shamika regretted the whole incident. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else who's pending for reading?
Mataji Chandramouli Prabhu joined.
Oh, okay. Chandramouli Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge that the king, who is the best among human beings, is as good as the personality of Godhead. He is never to be placed on an equal footing with common men. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable prowess.
Please continue.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of a chariot is represented by regime, and when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes so filled with thieves, who then at once vanquish the unprotected subjects like scattered lambs. Purport. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, the monarchical regime represents the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. The king is said to be the representative of the absolute personality of Godhead because he is trying to acquire the qualities of God to protect the living beings. The Battle of Kurukshetra was planned by the Lord to establish the real representative of the Lord, Maharaj Yudhishthira, an ideal king thoroughly trained by culture and devotional service with the martial spirit makes a perfect king. Such a personal monarchy is far better than so-called democracy of no training and responsibility. The thieves and rogues of modern democracy seek selection by misrepresentation of votes, and the successful rogues and thieves devour the mass of population. One trained monarch is far better than hundreds of useless ministerial rogues. And it is hinted herein that by abolition of monarchical regime like that, Maharaja Parishad, the mass of people become open to many attacks of the age of Kali. They are never happy in an poorly advertised form of democracy. The result of such a kingless administration is described in the following verses.
So, Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhujis, like Deepa Mataji, please just wait for a minute. I just wanted to share something here. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, in fact, I wanted to ask
Yeah,
because we are
absolutely,
at 8:28 now, Prabhuji. We can't do another round of reading. So you can share some important things here and then we'll proceed with the prayers.
So all through the verses, the verses which we read till now, could you understand something? It was, it's a sheer helplessness. Actually, no one could do anything. The Brahmana was good, and the Kshatriya was put into such situation. And the Brahmana boy, who is not completely trained, he has said something, right?
Yes,
so there are some things which are ordained by the God, which cannot be done anything, which cannot be helped out. Do you think this situation is such or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So it is completely helpless and hopeless situation where the God has kept these people in, or his devotees in, so that something might come out of this. So what has come?
Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam has come out. And here in the last, last purport which we have read. So what is Prabhupada saying? Do you know different forms of governments before we understand this government?
Monarchy.
Yeah, no, it's not like that, Mataji. See, it is like this. If there is any disturbances in this caste system or in this Varnashram Dharma, then many isms will come, Mataji. Matajis and Prabhujis. Are you all listening?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, if a Kshatriya takes the whole power within his hand, generally a monarchy will come. Okay? Or the, what is it? Fascism, like, Hitler's or the Stalin, if you take, they keep the communism or fascism in front, but they do, operate the kingdom with iron fist, is it, do you know that? So if the Kshatriya takes power, things will go in that way, the military dictators will come. And now what you see in the Pakistan also, they keep democracy in front, but then what they do, everyone knows, that's nothing but a military rule. If you see the Burma junta, they're the same. If a Kshatriya takes to the power, this is, there is a disturbance of Kshatriya completely taking the power, then it will become a monarchy. Okay? And if a Vaishya takes to the power, then what happens? Capitalism comes. Okay? Everyone wants money. He wanted to be, the capitalist kingdom always wants that, a unseamless boundaries, so that he can do business with the whole world. So from there came all these things, like what you see.
Globalization.
Yeah, globalization. Think global, live local, and all these concepts. They are nothing but a capitalist ventures. It has come from the capitalism. So when a Vaishya wanted to take power or earn money more, what he brings up? He brings up all these isms like capitalism and many other schemes like this. one bank, World Bank. If you see properly, the many of these financial institutions are run either by Jews who are completely capitalists, or people in the New York, or people in some of the cities like Mumbai, or if you see Shanghai, who are completely capitalists, right? Can you understand this?
Yes.
So world is nothing but some form of disturbance which has been created by these four isms. And if a Shudra takes to power, then what does he thinks? He comes onto the platform of democracy or communism. He will think that everyone should be equal. Everyone should be equal. The democracy has rooted from that everyone should have equal power, voting rights. People should decide what to do and what not to do. And communism, whatever people know, if some has a capacity to earn more, still he should eat only what government decides to be eaten. So that is a form of completely, that's also a very bad thing. Both are bad actually. Democracies and communism is bad. Everything is bad because it is a born out of imbalance. It cannot sustain for long. Okay. And what happens if Brahmana becomes to the power? Anyone has any example of this noble and clergy? Have you any do you know why French Revolution has taken place? Because the noble people who are guiding the kings, they have taken the whole power, and the king and the queen, they don't even know what's happening with the common people. That's how negligent they become. So these people, the clergy and nobles, they were actually ruling the kingdom, and common man couldn't digest it. And why this secularism?
Did they do, Prabhuji, by ruling?
Mataji?
Like we know like what happens when a Vaishya does, when a Shudra does, but what did the Brahmanas do? Like what is the mistake that they can commit?
See, first of all, they are not that pure. Okay, if Brahmana has taken power, that itself shows that he is not a Brahmana. He has some other inclinations, right, Mataji? Yeah. But yeah, they are the clergy people. They are noble. What is a noble and clergy people, and they are followed by the church. And that is the reason why the secularism has come. The England has in 16th or 15th century, the England got divided from the church. The church and the state got separated. Till that time, the church was ruling the state. The church will give sermons to the state, how to rule, how to get rule and all. But in the late 16th century, when the industrial revolution, and just before that, when the capitalist has come to the power, they have completely taken to this thing. Then they started sailing to the other lands, new lands, and they wanted to do their business. And for that, they wanted to have the help of the Kshatriyas. So they have just given the power to the the militaries there. So the companies have the militaries at that time, and that's how they conquered the whole kingdom. So it's a past history, Mataji. If you see, or Matajis and Prabhujis, if you see this now, everything is nothing but an imbalance of these four castes. You come to know na, democracy, what is communism, what is capitalism, and what is clergy and oligarchy. Not oligarchy is different thing. That is noble kingdom and all. So what does Prabhupada says in this purport? Ideally, a monarch who is trained properly is good, but can we find that in modern world or in this Kali Yuga?
No.
So there was a debate actually which was happening between the Maharajas of ISKCON in GBC and all. Accidentally I got to hear about that because of some other, I have some service in that, in the GBC meeting. So I heard all these things. So they were discussing, yes, the monarchy is good, but what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada said that ISKCON should be operated by GBC. Now, what is GBC? It's a committee of some different brahmacharis and
Governing body
different
commission.
Maharajas.
Governing
Yeah.
body commission.
Yeah, it is a committee of people who consists of different Maharajas, sannyasis, or different, devotees who is a grihasthas also. Why Prabhupada, did that? Because just in front of him, he has seen Gaudiya Math being completely destroyed because of this organizational issues. So Prabhupada is very practical. Even though he knows what to be done as per scriptures. So what these acharyas are like? See, these acharyas are like, they know what is to be done according to scriptures, but they also know practically what should be done for the particular time period. Now, the example for this is, if you have a traffic light, okay, and you have a traffic police over there, the traffic signal is showing you it's green, go ahead. But the traffic person, the police personnel, he's telling some 2 or 3 personnel to stop there. Whom will you follow? The person, traffic person, right? Generally,
Yeah.
if he keeps barricade, or if he says you in a stop board, and he just tells you don't do that, don't go, whom will you follow? You will follow the traffic police, right? Because he knows. So there is some other, from some other place, either some convoy is going or something else is happening in some other place, or there is a complete heavy traffic jam. So he couldn't bypass the traffic light, but he's showing that, please don't go. There is some other mischief happening, or some other thing is happening in the other way around. So please let me get cleared of that road. Whom will you follow? The traffic police, right? In the same way, acharyas, even though they know, what is it? The Vedas, they show it like a red and green light. They show it like black and white. But these acharyas are like a police personnel who know according to the time, place, and circumstances what to do. So that is the reason why he has established the GBC. Yes, he knows the democracy doesn't work, but for a long time. But according to the time, place, and circumstance, when there is no trained monarchy, what can you do? You can only keep the people, the committees. And he also tells always, keep the wheel moving, right? So yes, the GBC meeting, the Maharajas, they also decided that monarchy is very dangerous in the given time, place, and circumstance. So the best opportunity which we have is through a elected committee, board, governing committee, by which we can run this organization. Everyone could understand what I was telling?
Yes,
or
Prabhuji.
it's completely beyond?
No, Prabhuji. Understand.
Yes. So we will start, Mataji. We will start with that other thing.
Yeah. Kunti Maharani. 1 second. Yes, Prabhuji. So what is the agenda, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you tell Mataji how to go ahead.
So we completed Yo Krishna Vasudevaya. Yeah, Prabhuji. If you want, you can like speak something and then we can start.
Okay. So shall we start with 22? I wanted to hear from everyone.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we will start with what? New one? Prabhuji's and Mataji's?
Yes, Prabhuji. You can
Sure,
start.
Prabhuji. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, new one, new shlokas. So we will finish 2 shlokas today. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And if time permits, we will practice all the 6 shlokas. Till now, what we have practiced.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this is very easy shloka, so we'll go ahead. I'll just repeat it thrice directly, and you can follow me. Okay, the first shloka and the second shloka, I'll just take some time. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, first shloka is very easy one, which we all do in our pranam mantras. Nabha means what? Navel, right? Everyone knows this, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, mala means garland, right?
Yes.
Netra means eyes, and pankaja means
Lotus flower.
Lotus.
yeah, lotus. Angrahe means 5. Pankaja means 5. What is the limbs of your body? Okay, all of them are lotus like. Sorry, yeah. Angrahe means soles, soles of the feet here. I'm sorry. Generally, the Pankajangre generally says, the 5 limbs of the body who are like lotus. That is where in some other occasions generally this Sanskrit meaning means. But here, the meaning goes like this. Unto you, the soles of whose feet are engraved with lotus flowers. It is completely lotus feet. Okay. So I will just repeat. You also repeat 3 times. Will that be okay now? Everyone knows this sloka, so I'm just not repeating this again and again.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya,
Namaste Pankajangre.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah
Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah
Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline,
Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Yeah, please everyone go ahead with repeating the sloka.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrihe.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Please continue, Prabhuji, one after another. Yeah, please continue.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe. Lastly, translation.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrahe.
Sapan Prabhu. Anybody else pending?
Sapan Prabhu, did you do that?
Sapan Prabhu.
He might not be.
I think he is already done, bro.
No, he
Okay.
hasn't done, but that's okay. You can continue with the next verse, Prabhuji.
Yeah, can any 3 devotees can do the translation of this shloka,
Yeah.
then we will go.
translation. Yeah, please do. Let me do one. My respect translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Last
My res- Hare Krishna.
sorry, Prabhuji. Please continue.
Yeah, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Yeah, to the devotees.
Translation. My respectable obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
My respectable obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flower, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Hare Krishna.
Translation. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with the lotuses. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so shall we go with the other shloka? 1.8.23.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, time is there. Yes, Prabhu. Till the 10 minutes.
Yes. Please repeat some words after me. I'll just repeat it 5 or 10 times, depending upon your this thing. Okay. Ruddhatichiram.
Ruddhatichiram.
Everyone should repeat this, huh? Please. Ruddhatichiram.
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 Okay. I'll just give you a small meaning of this. Okay, then we will go ahead. Yata Hrishikesha Khalena Devaki. Khalena means that envious person. Hrishikesha means Krishna. Yata, as Devaki. As you saved Devaki from that envious Kamsa, Ruddhatichiram means who is imprisoned for a long time. Okay. And how they are completely distressed. So Charpita. So first 2 lines describes what? Krishna, the way you saved whom? Devaki. By who is tortured and distressed by whom? Her own sister, her own brother, Kamsa. So this is what first 2 lines mean. Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho means Vibho means oh great personality. Sahatmaja means myself and my kinsman. Vimochitaham, please release. Tvayaiva Nathe, Tvayaiva means yourself. Nathena means as a protector. Muhur, constantly from a serious danger. You have released us from series of dangers. Okay. So what this whole shloka means? This shloka is a meaning of gratitude. Hey Krishna, you have released your mother Devaki from Kamsa. This is what first two lines mean. And the second two lines mean, no, you also released myself and my kinsman from series of dangers. Okay, now she is starting to show gratitude. Till now what? Only prayers. And this is also prayer, but the gratitude has started in this prayer. Okay? Understood, na? And in a little sense, what does this 4 lines mean? Everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Prabhuji, can you tell about the last line once again?
Tvayaiva nathena muhur vipadganat means you, your natha means, oh Lord, Tvayaiva, yourself has shown us mercy or saved us from series of dangers. So muhur vipadganat means, muhur means constantly, Mataji.
Yeah.
Vipadganat means saved us from dangers. Okay, a type of gratitude. Hey Krishna, you have saved us from a lot of dangers, and also you saved your mother from Kamsa. This is what this means. Shloka means. Okay. No, rest everything is the Sanskrit words and details. That's it. The one line, this thing is, Krishna, you saved myself, my kinsman from series of dangers, and also you saved your mother, who is Devaki. From whom? From Kamsa. Why? In what condition she is? She is completely distressed. Okay. So this goes like this. Yata Hrishikesha Khalena Devaki. Please repeat.
Yatha
Hrishikesha Khalena Devaki.
Yatha Hrishikesha Khalena Devaki.
Yatha Hrishikesha Khalena Devaki.
Yatha Hrishikesha Khalena Devaki.
Yatha
Hrishikesha Khalena
Devaki.
Is that okay, or shall I repeat for 3 more times?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay for everyone?
Yes,
Yes. Kamsena ruddhati chiram shucharpita. Kamsena ruddhati chiram shucharpita. Kamsena ruddhati chiram shucharpita. Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho. Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho. Vimochitaham sahatmaja vibho. I'm sorry. Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho. Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho.
Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho.
Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho.
Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho.
Tvayaiva nathena muhur vipadganat. Tvayaiva nathena muhur vipadganat. Tvayaiva nathena muhur vipadganat. Okay. Now, how shall I go actually? Will you people repeat? Will you devotees repeat, please, one by one?
Prabhuji, once we'll do synonyms, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead. What it's completely. See, we are not going this Kunti prayers according to the shloka tunes and all. Okay, we will learn every shloka because every shloka is very important and very this thing. From now the emotions start. Okay, Pure emotion starts from now on. So what we do is, we go by individual shloka. We will practice individual shloka, and after completion of every shloka, then we will go with one tune. Will that be okay with all of you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we will do it as a normal shloka tunes only, not with the tune of Kunti Stuti, because we will first get what is it, trained in all the shlokas. If you are in Krishna consciousness for a long time, this will be repeated by every preacher. Okay, such are these shlokas. Any Bhagavata Priya will actually repeat these shlokas. Okay, and now you are listening, na? After 5 or 6 years, when you listen this again, you will again feel the new freshness. Such are the Kunti prayers. Okay, 8 years before when we heard, and now when we are hearing, it is completely new experience only. So please, everyone should go ahead individually after reading synonyms. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay,
I think
please go
Prabhuji,
ahead.
then whatever we are reading, this is not the Kunti Maharani's meter, Prabhuji. So
No, Mataji. This is not Kunti Maharani's meter.
Mhm.
But this shloka is very important that I cannot go into the meters, Mataji. Meter we will go when we do stuti. Okay, at last, after completely after finishing all the 25 shlokas. Will that be okay?
Okay, got
Okay,
it.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Only one person reading synonym should be fine, and then individually we'll complete the shloka.
Yes, we
Bhavani
will
Mataji
once we
explained
read the
it.
synonyms and then we'll go with the shlokas recitation. Okay.
Yes, synonyms. Yata, as it were. Rishikesha, the master of the senses. Kalena, by the envious. Devaki, the mother of Sri Krishna. Kamsena, by King Kamsa. Ruddha, imprisoned. Atichiram, for a long time. Sucha Arpita, distressed. Vimochita, released. Ahamcha, also myself. Saha Atmaja, along with my children. Vibho, O great one. Vaya Eva, by your lordship. Natena, as the protector. Muhu, constantly. Vipad Ganath, from a series of dangers. Hare.
Go ahead with the translation also, Mataji.
Translation. O Rishikesha, master of the senses and lord of the lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long prisoned and distressed by the envious king Kamsa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. Yeah, Hare.
Yeah. So seriously, please go start recitation, everyone.
यथा ऋषिकेशखलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धातिचिरं शुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वय्येव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्. Please continue one by one.
यथा ऋषिकेशकलेन देवकी कंसेन रुदातिचिरं शुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं सहात्मजा विभो तय्येव नातेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्.
Vimochitaham cha, Mataji.
विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Samyukta Mataji. Acha, she cannot recite, na? So Ram Reddy Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
I
please
will do
go
it,
ahead.
Prabhu. यथा हृषीकेशकलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धातिचिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वय्येव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्. Hare Krishna.
Very good, Prabhu. Giraj Prabhu, you raised the hand. I don't know why.
Recite करने का.
No, I thought you were about to slap me, Prabhu.
You slap me. So,
Please.
1 to divorce తర్వాత చేస్తాను. ఇట్లే మళ్ళీ చేయండి.
Yes.
These two words are very nice. Ruddhachi. Ruddhati Chiram. Imprisoned for a long time. This other Sucharpita.
Ruddhachira means imprisoned for a long time, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Devotee.
Yeah. And other devotees. Prabhu, you are not audible. I'm sorry. Is it my fault or yours?
I don't know, Prabhuji. So is it okay?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yes, yes. So other devotees, let them do, Prabhuji. I will do it last.
Okay, I'll try, Prabhu. Yatha ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धाचिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं सहसात्मजा विभो त्वयेनाथेन मुहुर्विपत्कनात्.
Thank you so much, Akinjan Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Actually, I'm very, very happy because all of you are learning and you have a lot of interest in this. Really, really, I'm thankful to everyone. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
यथा ऋषिकेश कलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धाति चिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वयैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपत्कनात्.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. And who else are there? Sandhya Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll
Go
try.
ahead,
यथा ऋषिकेशखलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धाति चिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वयैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपत्कनात्.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
Sapan Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
Yata Rishikesh Khalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddharti Chiram Sucharpita Vimochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho Tvayeva Nate Namuhur Vipadkanat.
Haribol. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. And Chandramoli Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. Yata Hushikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddhachitiram Suchapita Himochitaham cha sahatmaja vibho Toyalvanatena Muhur Vipadkanat.
ఒక్కసారి ట్రై చేయండి ప్రభు. యథా హృషికేశ కలేన దేవకి అట్లా.
యథా హృషికేశ
కాదు. యథా హృషికేశ కలేన దేవకి.
యథా హృషికేశ కలేన దేవకి కంసేన రుద్ధాతి చిరం సుచర్పిత విమోచితాహం చ సహత్మజా విభో త్వయైవ నాతేన ముహుర్విపత్కనాత్.
అది రావట్లేదు ప్రభు ఫస్ట్ 2 లైన్స్, కానీ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి. ఇంకా చాలా శ్లోకాస్ ఉన్నాయి ఈ మీటర్ తో మనకి. సో స్లోగా వచ్చేస్తుంది. సరేనా? ఓకే. సో ఎవ్రీవన్ ఇస్ డన్ నా? సో ఇట్స్ 10 members are done, right? హరే కృష్ణ.
గిరిరాజ్ ప్రభు చేస్తున్నారు.
అర్రే ఐఎమ్ సారీ ప్రభు. గిరిరాజ్ ప్రభు ప్లీజ్ గో హెడ్.
ఏమైంది ప్రభుజీ?
మీరు చేస్తారన్నా లాస్ట్ లో అన్నారు, చేయట్లేదు ఇంకా.
ఎస్ చేస్తాను. యథా హృషికేశ ఖలేన దేవకి కంసేన రుద్ధాతి చిరం సుచర్పిత విమోచితాహం చ సహాత్మజా విభో త్వయైవ నాథేన ముహుర్విపద్గనాత్.
హరే కృష్ణ. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ప్రభుజీ.
Thank you very much.
Mataji, can you please scroll to the next sloka? I won't take it, but I just wanted to give you a glimpse of it.
ఈ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ చదివారా ప్రభు?
Yeah, అంటే yes. Okay, we'll go slow.
Mataji చదివారు.
Okay.
See, the next sloka is actually, it's a See, the gratitude, na, it flows. The next sloka and the next sloka also. So next two slokas tomorrow, which we are gonna read, are the best cream. Okay, this is where these are the two slokas. Are the 1:8:25 is the sloka where Paramahamsas will tumble down. They say, "Baap re baap, ye to hum nahi kar sakte baap." Even the pure devotees of the Lord, they say, "Arey nahi nahi." But this is where Kunti will get complete this thing. She's completely different from others. So now,
Hare Krishna.
after gratitude, yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I have one small question, Prabhu. Is it okay? Prabhu? Shall I?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, please.
Prabhu, Devaki Mata and Vasudev, Prabhu, they are being parents of Krishna also. Why they have to go so many struggles, Prabhu? How to understand that, Prabhu? Because see, Krishna just touched Dhruva Maharaj with his Shanka, and all his distress gone. Everything is gone. There he gave that much blessing just by his Shanka's touch. But here they gave birth to Krishna, but they have to go through so many difficulties. How to understand that, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, please, Prabhu.
Yeah, actually, like this is a common answer, Prabhu. All the devotees give. That is how the devotees are glorified. The pure devotees, they don't go to the Lord to ask for something, to ask for peace and all. They go to the Lord to have darshan of him or to have his association. That is what pure devotee is. I can take all the difficulties, but still be with me. That's it. That's enough. Now you will come to know. You will come to know in the other slokas, you will start crying slowly when you read the translations. Such is the Kunti Maharani's prayer also. Now Kunti, see, Manaludu, actually Kunti ki and Manaludu, Krishna. So if one of our nephew or niece, my niece and my nephews has arrived just 2 days before, how I treat them? They call me mama, 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 and I also have that inclination also. But here, this lady, she knows what her nephew needs, what her nephew is, and see how she is glorifying him. So Prabhu, the answer for your question is like in devotee's life, nothing will be very simple, Prabhu. So that is the cost of having Lord's association generally. Do you know, Prabhu, Radha, Sita, any woman generally who is named after these two names, they go through a lot. Did anyone of you find that, Prabhu?
Yes,
Did
Prabhu.
anyone of you notice? At least I noticed in my life. But we know that they are very pure devotees' names, right or not, Prabhu?
And Padma also.
Sita Prabhu.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
All Sitas are.
All Sitas, anyone who is named after Sita, they will go through a lot.
Yes.
In my own home, in my own family, there are two Radhas. All of them are suffering the same. And one Sita, she is also suffering. Why? They are named after the, pure devotees of the Lord. But then why it is going on like that? See, Prabhuji, our general inclination is that when we go to the Lord, all our suffering should be taken away. But pure devotees are at a different platform. They are ready to take the sufferings for the association of the Lord. And they are happy doing that. Our own Indra Prabhu, you see the Devaraj, Indra. See what kind of services he do for the Lord. He always will be happy to go on to the opposite side of the Lord and fight with the Lord. How many instances we have seen that Indra is doing all the mischief? How many? Not one or two, many, right? But still is a pure devotee of the Lord. That is the cost. That is the actual cost of having Lord with us. Prabhuji, you were speaking about only Devaki Prabhu. Do you know Kaushalya Prabhu? If you all have time, let me share about the Kaushalya. You know, you all know Kaushalya, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Of course, we do Suprabhatam by taking the name. Kaushalya, Supraja, Rama, Purna, Sandhya, Pravas. It's very easy, no? So we all, people in Telugu land and all, they generally hear this Prabhatam, right? The first name is Kaushalya Supraja. Means we will recite the name of the Lord by whom? By Kaushalya. By taking their devotee's name first. You know, Prabhuji, what Kaushalya has gone through? Let me tell you, Prabhuji. You know, when she got married to Dasharath, what she says, she left her whole family. This is common for every Mataji, not only Kaushalya. This is common. But she has a lot of pain. She should go through a lot of pain when she left her family. Because in those times, Kshatriya, once leaving the family means leaving the family. That's it. You know, after many years, they will again go to their, in-house, to their mother's place. So it's kind of, completely going away from the family only. So one Vipat, general, because she's very emotional. Kaushalya is very emotional compared to all other queens. So it's very hard for her to take. Then what happened? Then that King Dasharath, she married many queens, of course. But after marrying one queen, the life of Kaushalya became more miserable. What happened? She married Kaikeyi. The moment she married Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi has a, what is it? Inherently she dislikes Kaushalya. So many things happened to Kaushalya after Kaikeyi's arrival. One is she's suffering from going away from their parents. The other thing is she doesn't have children. The third thing is she doesn't have even the affection from the husband. So she became alone, Prabhu. She became alone from husband, from parents, and she's, barren. She doesn't bore any child also, Prabhu. Then what happened? And one day, due to God directly descended from her, Lord Shri Ram. She felt some happiness. So what happened then? Lord Ram has come. So how many years? Very small span, till 17 years he stayed. So she felt very relieved in that 17 years. Then what happened? Lord Ram has gone. No, in that 17 also he's in this one, 5 to 7 years. For 13 years he was in this one. What is a Gurukul?
Yeah, Guru.
So he was not there at the time also. For 2 years the Lord Ram was there. First 5 years and then 2 years, 7 years he's there. After that what happened?
Aranyavas.
So what complete separation after separation. Only 2 years of happiness or 5 years of happiness. That is what she had, Prabhu. So don't think that for matas, who are thinking that I should bear Lord. It's not that easy. It has a price. And we have studied that sloka. What you leave about Mother Prabhuji. For the friends of Lord Krishna, what happened to them? You all know that sloka, 10th canto, when Krishna left Vrindavan. What is that sloka? Govinda Damo. It ends like this. Did anyone remember? It's in our shlokas only. It's our, anchor shlokas. There is one shloka. Not that easy. It's it's very tough to get Lord, but it's very easy to get devotees. So that is the reason we always wanted to aspect to get devotees than to the Lord. Lord is not that easy, Prabhuji. He will give you association, but he will take you out. He will take the nus out of you. That is that difficult. Okay. So I just wanted to complete here. It's not that easy, Prabhu. Of course, you will be glorified that as you are a pure devotee, but not easy. And where we are accustomed, we always want everything to be very peaceful and happy if we come into devotion. But that's not the way. Okay, Prabhuji. Ram Reddy Prabhu, did you get some answer, Prabhuji? Or I
Yes,
confused you
yes.
more?
No, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I got the answer, but I have following questions. But yeah, we can catch up tomorrow, day after tomorrow also, Prabhu. Yeah, that's fine.
I got a call, Prabhuji. I got a
Sure,
call
sure,
from my
Prabhu.
wife.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, no. Sorry, Prabhu. I mean, right.
Anyone else, Prabhu? Giriraj Prabhu, if you wanted to add anything, something else to this thing, you can add, and we will conclude the call, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu, you are right. Whatever you said, perfect. Yeah.
No, please don't say like that. You can add something, Prabhu. You can comment or you can.
I don't have anything, Prabhuji. Right, you said right.
What is that sloka, Prabhuji, you are referring to?
Yeah, our own shloka. You all know that shloka actually.
Prabhuji has opened already.
As he opened, I didn't see. No. Before this. This one. So you can please repeat this.
Evam bruvana virahaturabhrisham vrajastriya krishna vishakta manasa visrujjalajjam rurudusmasusmaram govinda damodara madhaviti.
Now he can do this with his very pure devotees, Prabhuji. Then what to speak of Devaki and Kaushalya and all these people? All these devotees. He didn't stop. He left. They're praying, they're crying, they left their Lajja, Prabhu. Still Krishna is like that. See, he has love also, Prabhu. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have love. He's very krura. It's not like that. But that love also has this element of pain. Of course, we cannot understand that. The pure devotee can understand that. Okay. Hare Krishna,
Thank
Ram
you,
Reddy
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Yeah, now
Yeah,
the
thank
following
you.
questions we will take it later, Prabhu. Okay.
Sure, Prabhu.
Now we
Yeah.
can conclude the call, Mataji, Deepa Mataji and Giraj Prabhu. Anyone of you can conclude the call. Thank you so much for bearing me.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful to you, Prabhuji, for teaching us. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. Chair Mata, concluding prayers. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada translated the Purvin ki jai. Jai Gaur Hari Premanande Hari Hari. Thank you very much. Have a happy Krishna conscious Monday. See you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.